The Siberian wind screamed like 1,000 knives, slicing through layers of fur and cloth. At -71 degrees Celsius, the air itself felt solid, searing lungs with every shallow breath. A 58-year-old Mongolian man trudged forward, his broad face framed with frost, each exhale crystallizing instantly. Fire was his only ally, his only landscape. Behind him, a trail of half-frozen footprints etched into the snow seemed to vanish as the storm swallowed the earth. Above, the aurora danced faintly, a cruel beauty over a world that demanded surrender. His firewood bundle slipped from numb fingers, scattering across the snow. His deal coat, once warm, felt like paper armor against the storm's fury. Food was gone. Only 2 frozen fish remained, stiff as stone in his pack. The storm showed no mercy. He couldn't outpace the cold, only resist it for as long as his body endured. Even the northern lights seemed distant, like visions mocking his hunger and fatigue. Then he saw them. Wolf tracks, pressed fresh and sharp into the snow just ahead. His heart tightened. Were they near? A pack roaming Siberia at night was not just competition, it was death circling unseen. The silence deepened, broken only by the wail of the wind, and he stood still, every sense sharpened. Was he being hunted? Or was this path abandoned, left behind by predators chasing other prey? He gathered the wood again, each piece sticking to his frozen gloves. The man forced his legs forward until the white abyss broke open to reveal a frozen river, gleaming under moonlight. A place to camp, though exposed. He knelt by the ice, stacking branches, preparing for the ritual of survival. Spark, tinder, flame. Fire would mean warmth, food, life, but in the distance, faint howls threaded through the wind. A reminder that even with fire, the night had teeth. The fire crackled weakly, its orange glow trembling against the vast whiteness. The man's broad face softened as warmth licked his frozen cheeks. But his eyes never left the shadows beyond the flames. The Siberian night was merciless. Every flicker of light a declaration of his presence in a land that swallowed the careless. Above, ribbons of green and violet unfurled across the sky, painting beauty onto brutality. The frozen fish refused to thaw. He held one over the fire, turning it slowly, but the flames barely softened its icy shell. His stomach clenched with hunger, sharp and insistent. The woodpile at his side was already shrinking, too little to last until dawn. Every log was a calculation, warmth or food, survival or comfort. And worse, the sound of the storm was changing. The wind carried faint echoes, a rhythm that didn't belong to the blizzard. Howls. Closer now. The wolves were real and they were moving. Panicked motion, wasted heat, wasted time. He scanned the tree line, the storm-shrouded forest where eyes could already be watching. His knife was small, his fire fragile. If they came in numbers, the flames might not be enough to hold them. The night stretched long ahead, and each hour without rest was another enemy clawing at his strength. He tightened his coat, pulled his fur hood low, and dragged heavier branches from the river's edge. With effort, he built a taller blaze, sparks shooting into the night sky like defiance. The wolves howled again, further away this time, uncertain. Fire still had power here, even against hunger and teeth. He placed the fish closer to the flames, the ice beginning to crackle and split, steam rising faintly. For a moment, he allowed himself a breath of relief, gazing at the aurora twisting above, beauty in the struggle. But deep inside, he knew this night was only the beginning of Siberia's test. Tomorrow, the cold would return fiercer. Tomorrow, he would need more than fire. Dawn arrived as a pale, unforgiving glow. Less sunrise, more reminder that the cold ruled every hour. The man's fire had dwindled to a pit of embers, a fragile island of warmth in an endless ocean of ice. His face was hollow from hunger, eyes narrowed against the bite of wind as he stood brushing snow from his deal coat. The wolves had vanished with the night, leaving only silence and fresh tracks leading north. The fish, half burned, half frozen, gave little strength. His stomach gnawed at itself, his muscles trembling with fatigue. Worse, his firewood was nearly gone. Without fuel, the fire's promise died, and the Siberian winter would reclaim him. He scanned the tree line for birch or deadfall, but snow buried the land in deceptive stillness. Every step sank him deeper into exhaustion. Fire was his only weapon, and its flame was fading. He spotted something ahead, a cluster of twisted trees, their bark scarred and split by the weight of frost. Beneath them, a black hollow gaped, a den or cave half hidden by snowdrifts. He hesitated. Shelter from the wind, yes, but was it safe? The memory of the wolves returned sharp and fresh. Perhaps this was where they slept, waiting out the storm. His breath came shallow, each decision balanced between survival and danger. To enter might save him, or end him. Clutching his knife, he approached slowly, every sense on edge. The cave smelled only of cold stone and ice. No musk of animals, no lingering heat. Relief bled through him, and he set about clearing the entrance. Inside, the cave was narrow but deep, a jagged scar in the frozen earth. He stacked branches at the threshold, striking flint until a spark caught. Soon flames danced against the walls, chasing away shadows. The cave became more than shelter. It became fortress, a momentary victory carved into the wilderness. As he sat by the fire, fatigue weighing heavy, he whispered to himself, "Survive today, fight tomorrow." Outside, the wind howled on, indifferent. But inside the stone womb of the earth, man and fire endured. The cave walls glistened with frost, each crack and curve echoing with the steady drip of melting ice. The man stirred from uneasy sleep, his body stiff, his face carved with exhaustion. Outside, the storm had passed, leaving a deadly calm. At -71°C, the silence itself was hostile. His fire had burned low again, reduced to glowing embers, and the wolves' tracks outside had been buried by drifting snow. Siberia reset the board each morning, giving no ground, offering no mercy. The man's strength was fraying. Hunger gnawed at him more brutally than the wind. His last fish was gone, and his body craved fuel. Fire demanded wood. His spirit demanded food. The question was no longer if he could endure the cold. It was whether he could endure the cold without sustenance. His cracked lips whispered calculations. Steps to the river, chance of finding game, hours until the next storm rolled in. He had survived another night, but daylight brought no comfort. A sound shattered the stillness, a crunch on the snow outside. Not the storm, not the drip of ice. Something alive. He gripped his knife, heart pounding, every muscle poised. A shadow moved at the cave's entrance. The man froze, breath shallow. Was it a wolf? Had the pack returned, emboldened by his weakness? The silence stretched unbearable until finally a shape emerged. A reindeer, thin and wary, pawing at the snow for lichens. Salvation had walked to his doorstep, or temptation, if the effort to bring it down cost him the strength he had left. Summoning every last ounce of focus, the man moved with predator's patience. He crept forward, knife in hand, guided by the fire in his will rather than in the cave. The reindeer startled, bolting, but his throw was sure. The blade struck true. For the first time in days, the man's body trembled, not from cold, but from hope. He dragged the animal inside, whispering gratitude to both prey and land. Fire roared again, fueled by fresh wood and blood-warmed strength. Steam rose as meat sizzled, filling the cave with the aroma of survival. As night fell once more, the aurora returned, weaving green fire across a sky made of ice. The man sat by his blaze, the predator's howls distant, his hunger quieted. He had endured Siberia's opening trial, with fire as shield and ice as teacher. Tomorrow would come with new tests, but tonight he was alive. If this story of survival gripped you, of fire against frost, of man against the wild, stay with us. More journeys into the heart of nature await. Subscribe and walk with us deeper into the world where beauty and danger live side by side.